computer. Here we go. All right. Hello, everybody. It's Carrie Bojarski, and this is our Tuesday team call. Tonight's topic is crafting starter conversations, or crafty starter conversations. And I am going to help you with, what do I do? What do I talk about? How do I get engagement going on my page? Because sometimes, and we all go through this, it's not just newer coaches. Well, what do I talk about now? How do I get more engagement going? How do I ask a question at the end of a post so people are participating in that instead of just liking it? I don't know if that's feedback on somebody else.
I hear it, but I don't know who it is.
Okay, let's see. Okay, it's good. It's good now. Okay. So here we go. So I'm going to share with you guys some ideas, some things that you can do, and also tell you where you can get more ideas to use these. What I want to caution you on is I'm going to share a few with you. You don't want to use them every night at the same time. It kind of starts to get like you're just randomly and like robotically posting these if you ask the same kind of question every single night. So just when I give them to you, don't run with them and be like, I'm going to use these every day because these are awesome. Pepper it so that it's not you showing, the same kind of thing over and over and over again. So I'm going to go to my notes, which are all over here. So that's why my screen will look really bright. So I won't be able to see you guys. So, because I did everything on a Google Doc. I really wish I would have done it to where I had access on my phone, but I still can't figure out how to do Google Doc access on my phone. So anyway, I should have did it in a note section. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple different things tonight, but this first one I'm going to share with you is 5 ways you can start conversations and have them move into something meaningful for you. Okay, the first one, we all know this, and a lot of this stuff is going to seem repetitive for people, but what's nice is sometimes when we have these reminders, especially during cup team, especially when you're new and going through training, that it's nice to have these reminders because the repetition, it starts to really sink in. And then you might pick up something tonight that you might have heard before, but you weren't ready to use it yet because you wanted to perfect something else and get more comfortable with something else you were using. So now you might be ready. You might go, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So here we go. Number 1 is build relationships, right? So how do we do that with people that we don't know, or even sometimes people that we know? What do we do? Basically, you're just going to talk to somebody first, get to know a little bit more about them, without talking about what you do with Beachbody, right? So building that relationship is key. So a lot of people wonder, well, how do I do that? How do I have conversation? Because I'm not really into talking to people, number 1, or I am, but I'm really nervous about it. And so then I become blank and don't know what to say. So a lot of you guys have heard all about this, but I realized it was probably a lull in us sharing information about how to have a conversation. And it's simply, we use the word form, F-O-R-M, to remember how to have this conversation. And if you're a person who, even in like your personal relationships or when you're face-to-face with people and meeting people, maybe you freeze because you just don't know what to say, and then it becomes awkward, and they're like, yeah, so I think I'm going to go to the bathroom. Right? This is going to help you go, okay, we could talk about this, and I could get to know this person this way, and then this social situation is not awkward. So it not only helps you in your business, but it helps you when you're face-to-face in any other situation, whether it be a family function, a work luncheon, maybe you have a work party for a spouse, and you don't really know too many people, and maybe you're a little nervous about how to get to know people and how to have that conversation. So it's going to help you. So now the F stands for family. And if you have never heard of this before, you want to write it down. We have a file in our team page for it as well. And I will give you guys that direct link for that as well. But for first, if you need to take notes because it helps you remember better, then do that. So FORM stands for, I'm going to give you all of them: family, occupation, recreation, and message. Now for family, you're simply asking people about themselves. Where do they live? Where are they from? Have they always been from there? You know, because a lot of people move. You know, some people don't, but a lot of people move. Do they have kids? How old are their kids? Are they boys or girls? Are they married? You know, because not everybody with kids is married, you know, so you can throw that in there if you need to. But with Facebook, it's easy to see people's status. People are very open about that. And how long have they been married? You know, and then these questions are going to help people talk to you, and you're going to learn a lot more about them, whether you're in a social situation or whether you're getting to know somebody new on Facebook, somebody who's been liking your stuff, and maybe you know of them and your friends, but you don't really know them. This is going to help you get to know them a little bit more. So the O stands for occupation. What do they do for a living, right? And what they do is going to tell you a lot about them. Are they a person who loves to work alone? You know, so if they're engineer, most likely those are people who love to work alone. They get more done in the quiet, in their office, done. Then you have engineers who might be more into management. So if somebody's an engineer management person, that person is a little bit more into people, right? They have that interaction. But they're still going to have certain things about themselves that they're, what they do for a living and how much they work really tells you a lot about them. So, and if you're not really familiar with what they do, it's a great chance to ask them questions about what they do, and they get to be the expert. So it always makes people feel good. Number one, when we can talk about ourselves. Number two, when people are interested. And number three, when it's something we feel like we're the expert on, it makes everybody feel really good. And especially when people are proud of what they do for a living. Number three. Number R, R stands for recreation. So what do they do for fun? You know, are they people who kind of just are homebodies and they watch Netflix all the time? You know, do they never get out? Are they people who love snowboarding, all snow activities? Where do they vacation? How do they spend their weekends? You know, are they usually hopping from one thing to the next? And do they have any hobbies? Or do they play sports? What do they do in their spare time? What do they do when they're not working? You know, or taking care of their family, or running kids back and forth to social engagements or sports things. What are they doing? So once you basically have gotten a chance to get to know someone based on, you know, who they are, their family, their occupation, what they do for fun, then this is your chance really to have a better understanding of them before you invite them. So you can usually tell when the conversation's winding down and you're ready to move on to deliver your message. So whatever your message is, are you inviting them to a fit club that's local? Are you inviting them to an event that you have on Facebook to share more information about something you have up and coming? And do you have, you know, whatever it is that you have to invite them for, that is your message. Okay, so basically let me look, because I have some notes, and sometimes if I do too many notes, I'm better with less, and sometimes I don't trust myself. I'm working on that. Okay, so here's like a little example, you know, of something that you could say to somebody in your message. You can just, you know, tell them, hey, you know, it's really been great getting to know you, and I'm really excited about helping you get started. If they're interested in the business, this is one, you know, with building your business so you can make some income. It sounds like you're really serious about being home with your daughter, and when she gets off the bus and having, being home with your daughter when she gets off the bus, and having this extra income could make that possible for you and your family. So, and you can explain the culture about what we have, but clearly you've already talked about this, and this person has, because you're conversating and you're not mentioning your business, it makes people curious. So this person has already gone to your Facebook page, saw, oh, they're a CEO of, oh, what is this? And they click and they see your like page, and they see you being you, right? They see you doing your thing. They see you being consistent with your workouts. They see you going live to show them maybe what a little piece of your workout looks like, or you go live to share something that's been helpful for you. So maybe it'll be helpful for other people. And for the people that are part of your tribe, it will be, because you'll attract people that are like you. They'll need the things and the shortcuts that you do for yourself. They'll love those great ideas, you know, or if you have parenting tips, maybe you're struggling with something with your one child or two children, like Abby shared a video about a little, I don't know what those things are called, but it's like a Fitbit for kids, but it's not a Fitbit. And then she's able to keep track of coins, and they earn coins by doing jobs around the house and being responsible and like taking care of things that they should be taking care of. So parents were loving that because it was helping them with a problem they had, and she had a solution. It wasn't anything that she sold. It was something that she found that was helpful for her, and she just shared about it, how it helped, how the kids were responding to it, and that they're still using it. How many times do we as parents get something for our child and they use it for a couple weeks and done? So she's able to say, this is a long-term thing so far for us, and they're really getting into this, and the interest is not gone away. So that was helpful for a lot of people. So like, say for instance, if you're talking to somebody and you kind of feel like it's coming to a lull, and you know that they've seen things on your page because they've liked a few things here and there, it's easy to say like, oh, hey, by the way, as you're having the end of your conversation, oh, hey, by the way, I've got this fitness support group that's getting started in a couple weeks, and I'm not really sure if it's something that you would be interested or not, but I can share the details with you if you like. And most people will say, sure. And that's a very general message. But I love oh, hey, by the way, I love that because it feels kind of off the cuff and there's no pressure. They can say yes or no, no biggie. And then most people will say sure. And then you'll have this freak out moment, especially if it's your first sure. You're like, oh my gosh. And you might do a little squeal, maybe you might tear up a little bit because you're so happy. And then you go, now what do I do? Right? Now what do I do? So take a breath. You take a breath. And then you just continue to conversate. And then you share with them. And when I say conversate, that means you share with them what they're looking for. You offer to give them information about your fitness event coming up now, or challenge group, support group, whatever you call it. But make sure you don't give them a ton of information all at once. You're giving them a few sentences. And if they'd like more information, then you can say, hey, I've got this event that's going to explain it all and answer a ton of questions. Would you like me to share the link with you so you can click going so you can see the notifications? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So you can share this with people in steps without giving them 3 paragraphs to read, because people aren't going to read 3 paragraphs. But you're still having a conversation even when you're giving them information. Does that help you guys? That's all in building relationships. I can't see anybody. So if you guys, shook your head, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm talking to Baber right now. All right, number 2 is go for no. So the first one was all about building relationships. Number 2 is go for no. Some of these are going to be really short. I think you guys are going to be really surprised that we're done early tonight, unless you have like really, really pressing questions. All right, number 2 is go for no. So basically, if you're thinking about people to talk to, or you're afraid to talk to people because you're afraid that they're going to tell you no, then you're going to be stuck right where you are. There's not going to be any forward movement. So what you could do is like say, okay, I'm going to play a little game with myself. My goal is to invite 5 people today or 10 people today. I'm going to go for 9 no's. That's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for 9 no's. So what that means is you're moving forward ahead, knowing that you're going to receive people saying no, which doesn't mean no, never. It just means not right now. So when I receive a no, I always ask people, I totally get it. If it's timing, would you like me to include you in my next challenge for March? And if they say yes, you make sure that you put them down on your calendar to invite them, right? So that they know you value them and didn't forget about them because they didn't order from you for February, right? But that you really value them as a person because you're willing to make time to follow up. And that's something a lot of people don't do. That's amazing customer service, that you remember them. So when you message them in March, it's not pushy. It's not bothersome. It's giving the customer what they said they wanted. So just help yourself feel that way in a very professional manner when you're going about that. So number 3, anybody have any questions about go for no? We are skated right through that bad boy.
I don't have a question, but just since we have new people on the call,
Yes.
and I don't know, I'm sure you have it, Carrie. I know, Abby, we used it during our last cut competition, the forum where you could write people's names in. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe we should add that or bump that in the group for some of the new people.
We can. Do you remember what it was called? Because I've got lots of forms.
I don't. It had the Beachbody logos, and we were kind of writing people's names in as we invited them, and the goal was to fill it up with no's.
Was it 100? Do you remember? Was it like 100 and it had circles or something?
I think so.
Oh boy, that seems like it was a long time ago. Does anybody have access to that like real quick, or do you have no idea?
Not quick. I'm sure I have it somewhere, but I'd have to dig for it.
Okay. Well, don't dig for it tonight, but if you find it this week, that would be a nice tool that we can, even put in the file section or something.
Right. I think it would be good for the new people to kind of see, okay, I'm getting all these no's, but then have it in their mind. That gets me closer to the next yes.
Right. And that's the whole idea is we always, there's a book called Go for No. And if you've never read it, that was my very first personal development book. And the only reason I read it, you guys, was because it was 72 pages. I'm like, I can do 72 pages. Okay, fine. I'll start here. I couldn't put it down and I read it in one evening. It was so good and it was exactly what I needed at the time. So if you struggle with personal development because you don't like the size of the books, I get it. Or you're not like an audio person because you need to see it, that book is fantastic to get you started and fired up about not only what you're doing, but in taking care of your mind with personal development. I never understood why people were wasting their time, right, with all this personal development when they could have 10 minutes, working their business. Why are they spending time to read? I never got it until I did it. So if you struggle with taking no's personally, or you struggle with fearing the no, that's a fantastic book. And there's even a Facebook page called Go for No from the people that created Go for No, the book. So even if you can't invest in that book right now, there's a Go for No Facebook page. Check it out every day. If it's something you struggle with no's and fearing that, and you're not moving forward with inviting certain people because you've passed judgment, or you're already thinking that they're going to say no and they're not even on your list, start there and look at their post of the day and then rock your power hour. Okay. So number 3, can everybody hear me? I feel like I'm gone. What is that noise? I'm just gonna mute everybody. Sorry. There we go. Did myself. I'm such an ass sometimes. Oh, this is fun. Okay. Number 3 is ask good questions. Okay. Basically, the person asking the questions is the person who controls the conversation. This is why we always say end any kind of message that you're having, end your posts with a question. Because that is going to allow, if the question is at the end, that's the last thing people remember, and they can respond to that. If you ask the question initially, it might catch their attention, but they may forget by the end of reading it to respond. So if you're going to ask the question in the beginning, repeat it at the end. Okay, it's not too repetitious. If you have a question to grab people's attention, make sure that you ask it again at the end, so that people remember to answer that, because people will do what you tell them to do. We live in such a society now that it's almost like, unless you ask people to, or say, click like, comment below, or private message me if you think you might be interested, right? So I can share the details, whatever your wording, they're going to do one of those things. But if you say nothing, to somebody, like just say for a challenge group post or something, they're not going to respond. So even if you're talking to people, this is going back to form. What do they do for a living? So, hey, thank you so much. I've seen that you've been liking a lot of things lately. Are you also into health and fitness? ? Do you see how that works? Instead of just, hey, I want to thank you so much for liking my stuff. Huge difference. You're not going to get a response just to thank somebody for liking your stuff. It's the question about themselves that allows them and allows the conversation to continue, because there's a reason. So a couple other things, let me look in here. Okay, so if you're using Instagram or even your Facebook, make sure that, again, that your posts have a question at the end. If they don't, you're really not going to get, a lot of engagement. And it also seems like you just like to talk about yourself versus when you ask a question at the end, it doesn't seem like it's fake if it's coming from your heart. And it also makes you look like you're interested in other people instead of just being interesting. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and if you know who your audience is, like if you know most of your audience that is on your friends list, that are people that are paying attention and conversating with you, if they're moms, if they're working moms, stay-at-home moms, you know that anytime you ask questions, and if they're usually, hey, I have a question about, for anybody with kids, I have this question, when you were weaning your child off of, whatever it is that they're weaning off of, maybe the pacifier, what was the best strategy you used that worked for you? You will have mothers coming out of the woodwork to share what worked for them because they want to help you, right? And then it makes them feel good because what they have done could help another mom. Okay, I have a really good thing that we did when we were weaning Delaney off. It was awesome. So if anybody ever asks that question, I have a really good answer for them. So, okay. So, and then if you don't have kids, which I don't have anybody that young, but maybe you have, and it doesn't even have to be about kids. So maybe you're a teacher, right? And you have a question, I don't know, a teacher question, and you can ask that and you can pose it. So if you're a teacher and most of the people that you're following are teachers as well, then you know that they'll probably appreciate that really funny guy. I can't think of his name. I want to say it's Jerry, but I don't know if it's Jerry. Jen, the funny guy that's a principal, but he's got a really huge YouTube following and like page following. Can you share his name again?
Jerry Brooks, Gerry.
Hysterical.
Great.
So you share every once in a while his posts because in his videos because your teacher friends will be rolling because he's I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, honest to God. I don't know where he does. But when he does, I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally get it. I know what he's talking about. Hysterical. All right.
Can I jump in one more time, Carrie?
Sure.
For the mamas, and I know there's only a couple of us on here with little ones, sometimes I struggle to word my post and to get that question in at the end because I have a 2-year-old climbing up and trying to sit on my head and snatch my phone and go crazy. So sometimes I just get that post up like I did this morning that, hey, I parked him in front of Mickey Mouse and I went and did my last workout. But even then, those people that I can that like that post, I can still message them and say, hey, thank you so much for supporting me. What are you doing for yourself?
Right.
How are you taking care of you?
Or you can go in and edit, if you can set them down and just take 30 seconds and just say, what do you mamas do to get through a workout?
Right. Because I know for me personally, and I only say that because for me personally, starting out, I felt froze. And if I didn't have time to type out this elaborate post and get the wording just right, I didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. So get it out there, share, and then deal with it after.
Right. And if you're thinking you have to have an elaborate post, you don't. Share what's on your mind. Share what you're thinking. Share what's working for you. Share what you're struggling with. It doesn't have to be long and elaborate. You don't have to follow a system for your post. And I think as a new person, it can feel like that, especially when you see seasoned coaches pouring these things out and you're like, how do they do that? Right? How do they do that? They're just sharing from their heart, no rhyme or reason. I did a post today on from my phone, and it was about a picture. It was a picture of Delaney and I in the bathroom. We love bathroom selfies at the place where we go for holistic nutrition, naturopath stuff. And it was right before we went into our appointment because we always go to the bathroom after our trip and then hit the place. So, but in it, I shared about what that picture signified. And I didn't think twice. I just shared from my heart. And it was easy to share from my heart because I just told people what was going on. And it's easy to do that. So if you feel like you have to have an elaborate post, You don't. Your post can be 3 sentences long. You know, it can be 2 sentences long. Whatever you need to do to share what's on your heart at that moment that goes with the picture that you're sharing. Or what went through your mind when you were working out. You thought about not working out today. What made you do it? You know, tell people what's going on. Just because you're a Beachbody coach does not mean you have to always feel like working out. Does not mean you have to always be motivated. Does not mean you never think of skipping a workout, except if you're Abby Gorsline or Jennifer Stannis. But they're like superhuman. But share. Share from your heart. Don't try to post what Abby posts if it's not true for you. And then if you are sharing a post, or you really like what I wrote one day and you really like what Jennifer wrote another day, you don't copy and paste word for word, but what you do is you take that as a template and you fill in your stuff, your words, because your people are used to hearing your personality. So Abby's personality, they're going to know isn't you. And they're going to go, well, what's going on with that person? That just doesn't feel right. It's different. Or I think something different's going on with that person. That's a little strange. So people might kind of stay away from something if it's not really your post. But if you like the idea of it, absolutely copy and paste it, put it in a, you know, to copy and paste it to kind of break it apart, but not in your, you know, not to copy and paste to share their own words as your words. Does that make sense to you guys? You want to still come across as being you, because once you stop being you, people are like, that's weird. What's going on? You know, or like, what you talking about, Willis? You know, they give that face like, that's weird. What's going on? So they take a step back if it's not you. So don't think that you have to have something like that. You can just be you and share what's going on with your life, share what you can do, and then end it with a question to show interest in other people. And I always have that, not always, but when I ask my question, I'd like it to have something to do with the post. It's not just going to be a question that's like, I'm talking about a workout and then all of a sudden I'm like, so do you guys like Scrabble? It's not going to be something like that. It has to make sense with what the content of your post. Any questions there? Okay, number 4, show interest. And this is going to be whether it's in person, right? Or whether you're online. Showing interest in other people instead of just an interest in being interesting is going to be absolutely huge for you. Okay. Basically, if you're on Facebook, I mean, some people are on Instagram too, because they kind of piggyback. When you put one post on one place, it goes another. If you have somebody who's engaging with you on your Facebook pages or on your Instagram or any other social media that you're using, you want to, make sure that you're engaging with those people and that you're giving them, your attention there. And it's okay if you can't do it right away, but you want to be able to acknowledge them. So say you do a post in the morning, and you've interacted with a few people that were interacting with you and liking things, but now you have to go for the day. When you're back on again, you want to check the post that you've done for the day and see if there's any other people that you need and want to interact with as well, because one, it helps them feel special. It makes them feel like you're not too busy for them, right? And that you're able to notice, that they're there and that you're interested in interacting with them too. So, but basically anytime you start chatting with a potential customer, you can look, and anybody's a potential customer. If they have a body, they need to take care of it. Anyone's a potential customer. So you can look at their Facebook profile, right? And even see if you want to get to know them a little more, because we don't have to help everybody. If somebody on their Facebook profile page has things on there that you would never post on your page, and it kind of freaks you out, you don't have to engage with that person. You don't have to continue the conversation, because obviously that person is not your person, is not part of your tribe if it's totally opposite from what you would do. So I always like to take a look at people's Facebook profile pages because it tells a lot about them, right? I mean, I'm a swearing mom. I do swear a lot, but I don't put a lot of swear words out on social media. I've got a friend who spells the F word out in like all of her posts. And I'm like, how do you even get away with that and not feel like, oh, the kids at school are going to see this? Or what if what if my employer sees this? I mean, she works with kids. I never would do that, but she has no filter and she doesn't care. That's not me. I mean, she's great, love her as a person, but I would steer clear of that person, probably for coaching, because it's just not me. It feels uncomfortable. But as a friend, so like as a friend, like I like a good F-bomb conversation here and there. I just wouldn't put it out there like that. I'm starting to turn red and get nervous thinking about it. But that's just me. So you can look, and you don't have to accept everyone if it doesn't feel right, like it's your tribe, okay? So you can be choosy. Just be really authentic with who you are in your posts. It does build trust with people, and it helps them relate to you, and it helps your people find you. The more honest you are, without trying to be somebody else or who you think you're supposed to be as a Beachbody coach, the more real you are. If you're funny, be funny. If you're really relaxed, just stay relaxed. Just because you became a coach doesn't mean you have to change that, okay? Number 5, final number 5. And then I'm going to show you or tell you guys where you can find some really fun, crafty conversation starters, or just little fun questions that you might want to include with some of your posts, okay? Number 5 is wear and share. I love this because it makes it easy for people to talk to you, and all you have to do is respond to their question, to their comment. And then, oh my gosh, what do you do? What do you do? How do you keep the conversation going? Think of form, F-O-R-M. Are they there with other people? Oh, is this your daughter? If the person looks like they could be your daughter, oh, is this your daughter? You can ask that to include the daughter in conversation. Or, oh my gosh, is that your baby? Whatever it is, if they have children. So if you're out in public, I think the easiest and most natural way to have conversation is to have something. I take my shaker cup with me everywhere. I fill it with water. It's got, whatever it is that I'm drinking in it, usually water. Sometimes I'll put like a little bit of lemon or something in there, but I don't put the lemon in it. I just squirt the lemon in. Because I don't know, well, let me start it on stuff that I think's on the skin of lemons, but so I carry that, with me, or I'm wearing and sharing a t-shirt. If you haven't received a t-shirt from your program yet, or you haven't maybe finished one, think about filling that information out about the Beachbody Challenge. You get your free wear and share. Okay, it's not something you have to invest in. You can get that for free after investing in yourself with your time to finish your program, right, and taking care of your nutrition. So, and you don't have to be at goal when you're done with your program. So if you guys are doing Core de Force and it's a 30-day program, and you go, I don't want to turn my results in because I'm not at goal yet. You don't have to be. You can turn results in every single month with everything that you're doing. If you do Core de Force 1 month, then 21-day fix the next month. And if you just go back and forth to those until you achieve your goals, you can still turn your results in every single month. Okay, and show them what the program did for you. Now you're only going to get a free product one time, but you can still send in results and maybe you'd be a winner, $500 winner or higher, for the monthly and the quarterly prizes. So, anybody have any questions so far about anything we've talked about? Okay. I can't see, but I would assume if you'd unmute yourself if you had a question. So I'm going to move on and just let you guys know that I found some really fun conversation starters. I'm going to screen share actually. Where is, gotta find the button. Here it is. Okay. All right. So you'll see here I'm on Pinterest. Pinterest.com. I don't know where the Explorer came from, but I basically just typed in conversation starters up there. There's some really bad ones here, but there's some really interesting ones where I thought, I never even thought to ask that. This one, kind of weird. I wouldn't go there. But this one, top 33 conversation starters for all occasions. I really like this one. What are some things you want to accomplish before you die? I don't know if I'd put, what's that? I don't know if I'd put like before I die, maybe if it didn't have anything to do with my conversation, but maybe you're talking about how accomplished you feel. after something that you've done. Maybe it's because you finally put yourself first and you actually got your first full week of your fitness program in, and you've never done that before. You've never stayed consistent for a whole week. So you feel so accomplished. What are some things you feel accomplished with, or what are some things that make you feel accomplished? So you can change these questions. It just gives you ideas, right? You can change them so that they have and make sense for you. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been? What's the silliest fear you have? That would be really fun. Like Fun Friday or something like that. What's the silliest fear you have? I can see some really fun things coming out of that and some really cool conversation starters. So people are responding to that, right? And what do you do with that? You can comment there in the feed, and it shows interest. It shows more people commenting, interested. Facebook lets more people see it, but you take it to a private message, right? After you've exchanged, a response or something from there. Every single person who likes your posts, who comments, are people that you want to have on your list to take to the private message and continue the conversation with, continue getting to know them, continue finding a little bit more out about them. And then eventually they receive your message. But what kind of message is it? Is it a person who you think would really be a great coach because they're really driven to financially provide for their family, because maybe somebody's going to be losing a job in their family. So they really are looking for another option, but they can't really work outside of the home, right? Because they already have a full-time job. So they're looking for something they can do while they're at home. You have a solution. So, you found that out because you were talking to them and you took the extra time to take everything to a private conversation where the relationship can really grow more. And then you're able to say, hey, you know what? Because you had said that you're really looking for something you can do at home, and you need something that can be really flexible for you and also provide, a really great income for you. I've got, what is coaching event that happens the last Tuesday of the month, and this person's already going to know that this is what you do because that you have already had this conversation. I can share the link with you if you'd like to gather some more information and see if it's a fit. So you're acknowledging that they need a solution, you have one, but you want to give them an option for them to decide, right? Not to say, oh, this would be great for you, which and it is, but people love the choice. People love the choice. What's your guilty pleasure? Like, these are just fun ones. This one I thought was really fun, but you don't want to have one that goes out every night and then do nothing with it. So if you do one of these a couple nights a week, then you want to make sure that you're doing something with the interest that you're receiving, right? You want to make sure that you're commenting because people are watching to see if you're even responding to people. Then you want to take it to a private conversation. Those are great, great things for you to have. And this can even help you reconnect with a lot of people that it's been a while since you chatted, because they'll come alive with simple questions like that as people are scrolling. This one was good too. 55 conversation starters. Who's had the biggest impact on you while you were growing up? Maybe you have this by itself. Maybe you couple this with a little example of who's been a big impact on you. Maybe you have a picture of you and your grandfather from when you were little, and it brings back one of your favorite memories together. And you share that. And then you ask people in the end, who's had the biggest impact on you? And you will learn so much about people, and you'll be with their life when they're sharing something about you, because they see you doing it, you're sharing, and they're going to be comfortable sharing with you. And then it's easy to comment on that. And don't comment just like a stale comment. Really comment when you have time to look at what people are sharing and give your response. And then take that to the private message, because then that conversation will be able to continue versus end with them commenting on your post. So I'm going to come back to you guys. That's what I have for you this evening. Stop share. All right, here we go. That's what am I muted? No, that would have been weird. So that's what I have for you guys this evening. What did you think about the content? Was it helpful? Did it make you think of something you're doing that I didn't mention that you think would be really great for everybody else to know? You guys are so easy tonight. I love it. Good job, class.
I'll jump in on the questions point and say something I took away recently. I listened to somebody speak, and we all know we're all glued to our phones and our tablets and our devices 24/7. And he was talking about board meetings and team meetings. And he said, you know, I have a rule. There's no phones in the meeting room. And it doesn't matter if you're in there 15 minutes before the meeting starts. You can't be on your phone. You have to be engaging with the team, because that's what builds trust and that's what builds relationships, is the conversation, not you scrolling Facebook and YouTube while you wait for the speaker to come in. And so that's kind of been something I've been challenging myself on when I'm at the school with my son, or I'm wherever I'm at. Keep my phone in my pocket. Don't touch it. Talk to people.
Amen. And I have an example of that. And I will tell you, yes, it makes you look like a busy business owner, but it makes you look like you can't pull away. Okay, and I'll tell you an example. We all went to a pumpkin patch a couple months back, like October-ish, and it was a bunch of homeschool parents and their kids, and there was one person specifically who was there with her son, and she's a LuLaRoe rep. She was on her phone the entire time. Little guy playing all by himself, and he was like 6. And I felt really bad for him. And I knew what she was doing, and it's great, but she didn't engage with any of the adults, and all the other adults were like really having a great time getting to know each other. And if she would just free herself from that phone, her son would have a different memory, you know, of that day. And she would have connected with other women that maybe potentially, right, would have been play dates, right? They would have been maybe really great friends too, that maybe would have wanted to, you know, or would have needed clothes for some event for somebody, but she didn't even make any connections, which was really sad. She wasn't connecting with her son or other people. She was, and every once in a while she'd make a comment as if she heard what you were saying, but she was on her phone because of her LuLaRoe business. So I think that's really a really great reminder. I think while we're waiting for our kids, sometimes it's like, oh, free time, I can get on this, but we're missing an opportunity, you know, an opportunity to connect. And people really crave connection. They really, really do. So it's something that I think is a really great reminder. Thanks for that, April. Anybody else have anything else? That was really awesome. That really makes me happy that you said that, because it's a great reminder. Let's see who jumped on. I don't want to slaughter your name. How do I say your name? Is it Zakara? Zakara. Okay, Zakara. You guys, Zakara's all new. She is Tracy Jenks' new personally sponsored coach. Thanks for joining. She's driving.
I'm like, I gotta get on this time.
Oh, good. Good. I did record it. We do just have a couple minutes left. We're usually done by 9:30, but we're so glad you jumped on. And we're glad to see your face. And so the content you'll be able to watch once I upload it, and it has a YouTube link. So I'll be able to put that there for you too. But we're glad that you're here.
Okay. Yeah, good to see you guys. I always leave work late on Tuesdays, and I tried today, and it just didn't happen.
Oh, well, you made it for the picture.
Right?
We'll be taking a picture here in like just a couple seconds. So you can smile pretty, but make sure your eyes are on the road if you need to have those.
Okay.
All right. Okay, are we all ready for a picture? Please.
Yes. Yeah.
Took a couple. So, all right, ladies, thank you so much for being on, and have a killer week, and focus on connecting with people. Don't worry about a sale. Don't worry about, am I doing this right? Focus on connecting and just being real with people.
Hey, come here. Come here.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Jayla.